Hello world. After you read the title of this video, you're probably thinking to yourself, what is he talking about? PlayStation feeling great on the market, the numbers are impressive, and honestly, there is no much competition in the field of desktop consoles today.
But sadly, in reality, everything is not that great for us, consumers. I've talked about it in my previous video, so I don't really want to repeat myself too much. Let's just mention some key points I stated. Lack of Sony's exclusives and their low quality. Sony's recently created strategy with 10 multiplayer games a year has crashed into a wall with cancelled titles and some epic fails like Concord. Only a few solid single-player games within the last 2 years, which is extremely insufficient even from the point of Sony standards. We are missing on a lot of PlayStation exclusive IPs such as Infamous, Bloodborne, Killzone, Jak and Daxter, Twisted Metal, and many more. And Sony is not doing anything about it for more than a decade now, which is unbelievably dumb. Similarities between almost every Sony exclusive are undeniable at this point, with the rare exceptions like Astrobot, which is a breath of fresh air honestly. Gameplay, graphics, game design, mechanics are made like developers try to fit in this new Sony frame, which is especially sad knowing what we used to have at the times of PS1 to PS3.
We used to have so many games that were totally different from one another, and developers were not scared to experiment and try different game mechanics.
Sony exclusives on PC. Based on the reaction of the audience to my previous video, I have to say, I am not comparing PlayStation to PC. It is pretty obvious that these are two different categories of market, and usually users of each have their own gaming preferences.
What I wanted to say is that exclusives used to be a huge part of Sony's success. Even if you had a PC, you've had to buy PlayStation to play all these amazing games. But now, even with that few years game release gap between PlayStation and a PC, it's not that much of a point anymore.
Sony's management. We've talked about recent changes in Sony's management structure, touching upon Hideaki Nishino becoming the sole CEO of the video game company, following less than a year of serving as CEO alongside Herman Holst. And now, at this point, let's move on to the subject of this video.
I truly believe that PlayStation may be on its path of taking back its glory, and that is based on several factors.
New live service games.
Even though Sony's strategy with 12 live service games was a total failure, with most of the games being cancelled, we can still hope to get some successful IPs like Helldivers 2.
Two big live service releases are expected in 2025, Bungie's new PvPvE shooter Marathon and Haven Studios' competitive heist game Fair Games. In case you didn't know, Bungie is an American video game developer known for creating the Halo and Destiny franchises. Founded in 1991, Bungie rose to fame with Halo Combat Evolved, which became the cornerstone of Xbox's success. They developed Halo 2 and Halo 3, solidifying the series as a major FPS franchise before parting ways with Microsoft in 2010. After going independent, Bungie launched Destiny and Destiny 2, popularizing the looter-shooter genre with a strong focus on online multiplayer, raids, and live service content. Destiny 2 remains their primary title, evolving through expansions. In 2022, Sony acquired Bungie for $306 billion, with the studio continuing to operate independently. So we got every right to expect something big from them this time as well. From what we've seen in the trailer of Marathon, I find the visuals pretty unusual, a mixture of realistic and animated sci-fi style, which makes it stand out from most of the FPS shooters we got today.
Besides that, we don't really know much yet, so let's just wait for the updates on that matter.
The second game though, this looks like a typical battle royale type game. I didn't like the game design that was shown in the reveal trailer. All these Watch Dogs type graphics with tons of holograms, lasers and tag, toxic colors, like The only thing I liked about that trailer is its comment section.
Oh shit, here we go again.
But regardless, who knows, the chance for it to become one of the reasons of Sony's future success is still there, so let's just hope for the best this time.
New single-player games.
Sony's future release lineup isn't just focused on live service games. Major single-player titles are also on the way for the PS5.
These include Hideo Kojima's open-world delivery adventure Death Stranding 2 and Sucker Punch's samurai sequel Ghost of Yotei. Sony recently assured investors that it remains committed to releasing major single-player games annually. Some of these upcoming titles are already being revealed, such as Naughty Dog's sci-fi bounty hunter game Intergalactic: The Heretic Prophet, which debuted at the Game Awards. Meanwhile, reports suggest that God of War developer Santa Monica Studio is working on a brand new IP. In addition, Sony has confirmed its intention to acquire Kadokawa, the parent company of Elden Ring developer From Software.
And of course, I got some big expectations on the upcoming Marvel's Wolverine game.
Insomniac has proven themselves as a great superhero games developer, making some of my favorite games ever, Marvel Spider-Man and its sequel, Marvel Spider-Man 2. And that makes me believe in Wolverine game, despite the fact that we haven't really seen much regarding this title since like 2021. New gaming devices.
Despite the expense, Sony has backed this console generation with innovations that push the PS5 in the new directions.
In 2023, it introduced the PSVR 2 virtual reality headset and the PlayStation Portal, a handheld device for game streaming. Earlier this year, the company released the PS5 Pro, a mid-generation upgrade focused on enhancing high-fidelity gaming.
Although it won't launch next year, Bloomberg reports that Sony is developing a handheld capable of running PS5 games natively.
PlayStation's handheld is something that fans been asking for since the times of PS Vita and been constantly ignored by Sony's management. But taking in consideration Nintendo's success with Nintendo Switch, it makes so much sense now and would just blow the market, guaranteed.
The last couple of months were incredibly significant for Sony's future, starting with the Game Awards and ending up with changes in the key management roles.
During the PlayStation Vita era, Sony successfully nurtured indie studios, helping them refine their skills. Little Nightmares developer Tarsher, for example, started by working on handheld adaptations of Little Big Planet. A new generation of handhelds capable of playing PS5 titles could provide the perfect ecosystem for fostering smaller budget games on Sony's platforms. The new strategy of Sony's management team.
The last couple of months were incredibly significant for Sony's future, starting with the Game Awards and ending up with changes in the key management roles.
Astrobot's Game of the Year award is a milestone that have every chance to become a turning point of PlayStation's fate. Why is it so important? Pretty simple. As we discussed earlier, all of the exclusives we had from Sony for the last decade were really alike each other. Felt like Sony was scared to experiment, which caused them having no diversity in game genres. Now with that massive success, with a relatively low budget, it's only a matter of time for many more experiments like that to be seen. And that fact alone can possibly bring us back to the times of the best PlayStation's era, with tons of different IPs made with heart and soul and not just the commercial success being in mind. The exact reason why PS3 generation was saved: video games.
Concluding everything being said, I believe that Sony is on the right path now, and that we as users, consumers, are going to win from that eventually. But before you go, I want to say thank you to everyone who left comment, subscription, and likes on my previous video. There were so many people who subscribed, left that comment and like, and I really didn't expect that. It was so surprising, and I appreciate you guys so much. So thank you to everyone who did that and watching this video right now. It's my personal thanks to all of you guys. And I'm gonna repeat myself with this video as well. If you want to support me, the best way you can do it is just by leaving that like, subscription, and comment. If you could do that, that would be just awesome. If not, if you don't feel like liking or subscribing or leaving a comment, that's totally fine. Of course, you don't have to. And if you don't like the content, just leave that dislike, right? It's all cool, all fine. So thank you to everyone watching. That previous videos, reactions, and all that traffic just reminded me how I want to do that thing, and I know that I can be better and better by every single video, and I am absolutely going to. So this is it for now. Goodbye, world.